Have you ever noticed that sometimes it's not the morning that feels heavy, it's the night? All day you're busy. Messages. Calls. Deadlines. Conversations. Noise. Movement. Distraction. But when evening falls and the world slows down, something else wakes up. Your thoughts. And suddenly the silence feels loud. This is the story of a woman named Ava. Ava was 32. Smart. Sharp. Successful. The kind of person parents use as an example when talking to their children. She worked as a corporate lawyer in one of the biggest firms in the city. Glass walls. City view. Important clients. Expensive suits. On paper, she had everything people chase. But every evening, as the sun slipped behind the buildings, a strange heaviness would settle inside her chest. It didn't matter how productive her day had been. It didn't matter how many compliments she received. The moment she entered her apartment and closed the door behind her, the silence would press against her. She would immediately turn on the TV. Not to watch it. Just to fill the space. She would scroll through her phone while the television played in the background. Engagement posts. Vacation pictures. Friends smiling with partners. Colleagues celebrating promotions. And slowly, quietly, comparison would creep in. Maybe I'm behind. Maybe I chose the wrong path. Why doesn't success feel the way I thought it would? She never said these thoughts out loud. During the day she was confident, composed, unstoppable. But at night, lying in bed staring at the ceiling, she felt like something inside her was missing. Sleep became difficult. Her mind replayed conversations. Analyzing. Overthinking. Predicting worst-case scenarios. Planning 10 steps ahead. One evening her younger sister called. They talked casually at first, laughing about childhood memories. But before hanging up, her sister said softly, "You sound tired." Not physically, just tired. Ava brushed it off. It's just work. But after the call ended, the apartment felt even quieter. That night she stood by her window looking down at the city lights. Thousands of windows glowing in the dark. Thousands of lives happening behind them. She whispered to herself, "Why do I feel so alone in a city this full?" The next evening was worse. She had just won a major case. Her team celebrated. Champagne. Applause. Praise from senior partners. Everyone said she should be proud. And she smiled. But when she reached home and placed the trophy on her shelf, the excitement disappeared within minutes. She sat on her couch and suddenly felt tears forming for no clear reason. "I did everything right," she said quietly. "So why doesn't it feel right?" That was the first night she admitted something was wrong. The following weekend, unable to bear the walls of her apartment, she went for a late walk. The sky was deep orange, fading into purple. In a small neighborhood park, she noticed an elderly woman sitting on a bench with a thermos and a notebook. The woman wasn't on her phone. She wasn't rushing. She was simply sitting there, watching the sunset as if it was the most important event in the world. Ava felt strangely drawn to that calmness. She sat at the other end of the bench. After a few minutes, the elderly woman smiled and said, "Evenings can be heavy if you carry the whole day into them." Ava blinked. "Excuse me? You look like someone whose mind hasn't stopped moving." Ava hesitated, then laughed softly. "Is it that obvious?" The woman nodded gently. "Most people try to outrun their thoughts all day. But at night, there's nowhere left to run." Something about her tone felt safe. So Ava asked the question that had been sitting in her chest for months. "How do you make evenings feel peaceful?" The woman poured tea into 2 small cups and handed one to Ava. "I don't fight the evening," she said. "I reset before it." "Reset?" "Yes. 10 minutes. Every evening. No phone. No noise. Just 3 steps. Ava listened carefully. First, the woman said, I write down everything that bothered me today. Every irritation. Every worry. I empty it onto paper so it doesn't stay in my head. Second, I choose one small thing that went right. Not something big. Something real. A kind word. A warm shower. A good meal. And third, she paused, I forgive myself for one thing. One mistake. One imperfection. I say out loud, I'm still learning. Ava felt something shift inside her. That's it? She asked. The woman smiled. Peace is usually simple. We just complicate it. That night, Ava tried it. She sat at her kitchen table with a blank notebook. Her hands felt awkward. Her mind resisted. This is pointless, a voice inside her said. But she wrote anyway. She wrote about the pressure she felt. The comparison. The loneliness. The constant need to prove herself. Then she forced herself to write one small good thing. The barista remembered my order. It felt silly. Then she wrote, I forgive myself for not having everything figured out. She closed the notebook. The apartment felt slightly different. Not perfect. Not magical. But lighter. The next evening she did it again. This time she wrote about snapping at a colleague. About feeling jealous of a friend's engagement. About being exhausted. Her small good thing was, the sunset looked beautiful from my office. Her forgiveness line was, I forgive myself for feeling behind. By the 7th day, something interesting happened. During the day, when something stressful occurred, a part of her mind whispered, you'll write this down later. It doesn't have to live in you. And when something good happened, even small, she noticed it more carefully. Because she needed one thing for her evening reset. 2 weeks passed. Her evenings began to feel less threatening. Instead of turning on the TV immediately, she would sit quietly first. Sometimes with tea. Sometimes by the window. She began to realize that silence wasn't her enemy. It was just unfamiliar. One night she wrote, today I felt calm for 5 minutes while walking home. And she stared at that sentence for a long time. Calm. 5 minutes. It wasn't a vacation. It wasn't a promotion. It wasn't a relationship. It was just a moment. But it was real. A month later, her sister visited. They had dinner in the same apartment that once felt suffocating. Her sister looked around and said, it feels warmer in here. Ava smiled. I think I stopped fighting it. She still worked the same job. Still lived in the same place. Still had goals and ambitions. But evenings were no longer a battlefield. They were a landing. 6 months later, Ava still practices her 10-minute reset. Some nights are messy. Some pages are filled with frustration. Some nights she cries. But she no longer fears the sunset. Because she knows how to meet it. Here's the truth Ava learned. You can't silence your thoughts by drowning them in noise. You can't heal emptiness by chasing louder achievements. But you can create space. 10 intentional minutes. To release. To notice. To forgive. If your evenings feel heavy, try this tonight. Before you turn on a screen. Before you scroll. Sit down with a notebook. Empty your mind. Choose one small good thing. Forgive yourself for something. Do it for 30 days. Not because your life will suddenly become perfect. But because you will slowly stop carrying the whole world into your night. And when you stop carrying everything, evenings stop feeling so heavy. And peace doesn't feel so far away anymore.